Hello YouTube friends, it's Dale from whatever the weather may be. It's Thursday evening, 21st of May. It's about almost 7:15 in the evening. And I thought I would just come outside where I've been all day and do a little video on my progress in the gardens. I haven't done a video in a while. There really wasn't much to show out here. We had, up until this past weekend, we've had very cold weather. And then it just got hot, like in a day. So for the last few days, we've had temperatures of 27, 28 degrees centigrade. It's been very hot. But as you can see, the hedge is starting to green up. The trees all around are starting to get their leaves. And that also happened just over the weekend. The other thing this past weekend, it was a long weekend here. And we had horrible winds, like gale force winds. And if you've been watching my videos, you'll see the little portable greenhouse that I had started all my plants on. It's just a little metal structure with shelves. I think there's 4 shelves. And it was great for starting plants on trays. You can put it in the window, and it had a zipper over top, a cover with a zipper. So, you could close it up and it would steam up really good. And it was great for propagating seeds. So I've started all my seeds in March. And I had about 100 plants growing very well. And so I decided it was time to take them outside and let them harden up. So I took my little metal greenhouse with the cover and I brought it out and I put it at the back of my property where I have a cement slab and there's a wall on 2 sides of where I tucked it right into the corner because it was a windy weekend. And I propped some heavier furniture around it so in case the wind got really strong it wouldn't move, and everything was fine. That was Saturday. Sunday morning I came out to open it up and the whole thing was dumped. It had just flipped it right off the cement patio completely, dumped all the plants, and pretty much everything was either broken, crushed, or gone, just vanished. I guess the wind picked up the pots and took them. So I did salvage a few things from there. I think I had, out of 22 tomatoes, I think I found maybe 3 that might be okay. So I put the structure back up, fixed all the things. I put whatever I thought I could salvage in it, and it did it again. So the second time I lost everything. So pretty much all my seedlings just are gone. I have nothing left. No tomatoes, no peppers. I had started a lot of perennials. They're all gone. Yeah. Very disappointing way to start the gardening season. But it is what it is. I mean, I could moan and groan about it, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to have to seed a lot of things with seeds, like flowers. And I'm going to have to go buy my tomatoes and my peppers, I guess, to put in the garden. So here's my little herb bed. I really thought that everything was dead, but there's a mint there. And this was a purple sage, and it looks like there's something growing. I'm pretty sure I gave everything a bit of a haircut except for that mint. And this is mint here too, I think. And then around here, I think these are maybe summer savory. That was a summer savory there, and I think that might be what that is. I can't really tell. have to wait till it gets a bit bigger. So I can plant, I'm going to put some basil in here and fill it up with some annual type herbs, lemon balm, that kind of thing. None of that kind of stuff survives winter here. We're just too cold. But I'm happy to see something. And then over here, this was sort of a wildflower bed. And I'm going to be putting this was where I was going to be putting a lot of perennials. And I still will. But maybe not right now. This little dogwood tree, not looking so hot. I gave it a little bit of a trim because a lot of it got winter kill, but there is a little bit of life. So hopefully, this has been a very difficult shrub right from the get-go. We've had it for 3 years, and this is as far as it's gotten. So I gave it a lot of sheep manure, and we'll see what happens. So there's a few things here. So oxeye daisy, lamb's ear, and I think there's an echinacea over here, a very small one. So I'm going to be plopping a lot of new things in here. I've ordered some rootstock from 2 different places, which has not arrived yet. And I'm going to be putting some new varieties of daylilies in here, very pretty ones. Actually, some of them look more like a peony than they do a daylily. So I'm going to start them in this bed here. And I ordered a Stella d'Or, which is a daylily that I absolutely adore. So I think I'll put that around here too. So today I planted the trellis on both sides. So inside the trellis here, I have Swiss chard. I grew my Swiss chard inside this trellis last year, and it did fantastic. Over here, inside the trellis, I have Chinese noodle beans. And on the outside of the trellis, I have hyacinth bean. And I have the hyacinth bean not for the beans, but for the growth on the arch. I think that'll be nice. They're very showy and they grow very quickly, so I think that'll be good. And then on the outside of the arch here, down at this far end, I have some birdhouse gourds. And then from about here to here, I have morning glories. And that was kind of a find today. I was very excited. I have some old morning glory vines still from last year. I bought one vine already going at a greenhouse, and I planted it. I've never had any luck growing morning glories, and it grew. It went up, as you can see, it went up to the top. So today I decided I was going to take these vines down, and to my excitement, there are seeds. Look at that. Seed pods all over. So I started harvesting. There's still some more on here I can take off. I started harvesting these, and I got a cup full of seed pods. So I planted them on the other side of this trellis all along here, and I'm crossing my fingers that they're going to grow. So the trellis is all planted now, and this area here, well, this is going to be where my tomatoes were supposed to be going, and I was going to put some along here. I don't know how many I'm going to buy, so I kind of don't know what I'm going to do here. The chamomile is growing very well. There's grass and some dandelions in there. I have to take that out still. And this area here, right along this edge here, I've ordered 3 blackberry bushes, and that's where they're going to grow, right along there, just so that they have the trellis to lean on if they need to. So that'll take up this space here. I have to still deal with these weeds, and I'm going to extend that pathway all the way to this grass area here. my little don't know what you are tree is going to start having some leaves. So this bed is one of the new beds that I've started. And there's hollyhocks at the back. And here is, they're called Dame, D-A-M-E, rockets. They're beautiful. I think they're a wildflower actually. And then I put a couple of blue delphiniums here and one piece of oxeye daisy. I'm going to be watching that very carefully because it does tend to get going, but I wanted some white with the blue. The hollyhock is a very papery pink hollyhock, so, and very almost iridescent. You can almost see through it. And then here I have a rose bush that I actually dug up from the old roses at the front of the house. And I had it in a different spot, and I sort of have a little bit of a nursery garden where I put things to get them going and then I move them. So I put this here. This will be nice here. So all this area now, I'm just going to, there. This whole area now, I'm going to fill up with some of the things that some of the rootstock that I'm expecting. There's foxglove. I'm also got some snapdragon seeds to put in here. I'm going to put poppies. What else am I got? I got some Gloriosa daisies, some Shasta daisies, stalks, night scented stalks, evening scented stalks, and regular stalks. So there's and some other things. I can't remember everything that I ordered, but it's, I'll fill this all up, and I'm going to plant this very tightly. So I've made a bit of a start, just a little bit. And then over here, in this little garden, I have, at the back there, I have poppies. I've got California poppies and Icelandic poppies, which are a perennial poppy. And here zinnias. This is all zinnias in here. And they are coming up. Some of them. I just put some more in there. So they're starting to pop up a little bit. And then I have a little honeysuckle bush. It's not a vine, it's a bush that I moved from a different area. So that's looking pretty good. And this is another lavender poppy, but I don't see anything. I don't know if it's coming up or not. And this is a echinacea that I've moved from someplace else, and it's doing just fine. So this little bed, I'm going to be putting snapdragons. I'm going to put a lot of annuals in here. I have a lot of seeds, so I'm just going to keep seeding things. And I put a little delphinium here, and that's an oak tree. And in here, I buried Gloriosa daisy that I started. So this part of the garden then is all going to be flowers. The vegetable garden used to be from way over here to all the way. It was huge, way too big for what we need. So I've cut it in half. So this part will be flower beds, and that's going to be a sitting area. We're going to put some cement blocks on here, and I don't know, maybe do some kind of structure above it. Oh, there comes the wind. This area here, I'm going to put flowers there too. I'm not quite sure what yet. I'll probably put along here, I might put some sunflowers. I like to grow sunflowers for the birds, and then I leave them in the garden for the winter. So this part now is the vegetable garden, and I have sown quite a bit. I've got calendula along here, and then I've got a row of radishes, and a row of lettuce. Then I've got 4 rows of carrots and beets. I got 4 rows of beets, and then I got some multiplier onions, and then I've got kale. What else have I got? So I've sewn up to that board. Beyond that's going to be all our beans. I grow a lot of bush beans, so that's where the beans are going to be, all at the back there. That area in there, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. So it's looking pretty good. I'm quite happy with. It's been a lot of work. I have a lot of weeds in here, but it's getting there. This bed over here, I have not done a thing with yet. I need to get in here and do some cleaning. There's a vine that goes up here. I haven't seen it yet. I think that we have actually lost quite a bit of things this year because we had a snowstorm, a really heavy, wet, icy snowstorm mid-October, and things were not dying down properly, and it was one of those a lot of snow that turned to ice, and I think I lost a lot of my perennials because I'm not finding a lot of things. So here's a few. I do have a few geraniums. They were not in the toppling greenhouse. Lots of weeds still to work on over here. Been doing a little bit of work on this flower bed here. I've still got a ways to go, but this is irises, daylilies. There's some echinacea in here. There's some heuchera. Although the heuchera doesn't look so hot, I don't know. And there's some dandelions, and there's some pink tulips. The tulips this year have been really weird. They're short. I think it's because we've had so much drought. Here's a volunteer lilac bush. And there's delphiniums in here. I think that is a daisy. I think that might be a Shasta daisy, actually. And then along here, I've started doing a little bit of weeding in here, but I haven't done very much. Some more tulips. They're kind of pretty. I have some chives. I'm going to move some of these over. See how tiny those little tulips are? They're way down in there. Look at that. They're so small. Some of them have gone to seed already. I got to come out here and... Yeah, been kind of disappointing. But I think it's from the drought. Hi. Some more. These ones are a little bit taller. And there's some lilies coming here. These are gorgeous lilies. I got these from my neighbor. They're absolutely fantastic. Got quite a few of them. And I think this is Aquilegia here. Some more lilies. I need to keep cleaning. I haven't done anything with these beds because we are painting our house this year, hopefully soon, and I don't want to have any issues with ladders and new flowers, so this garden along here may be sacrificed this year, as will this one. This one's a hot mess right now. We are painting the house, but we're also talking about putting a veranda from about here to there. This faces west, and this window is a real problem for us. The house we have air conditioning, but it's very, very hot in this living room area. So we were thinking of putting a veranda either right from here to there, or just the door area to pass there. I think it would be actually good for the house, and I think it would really improve the look of the house. It's quite a flat house. I have done nothing to this flower bed here. It needs so much work. There's a lot of weeds. Look at all the weeds. And the roses are in here somewhere. I got to get in here and get this cleaned out. Just terrible. As well, there's a peanut bush in here. I gotta get in here and get this done. That's going to be my next task. But what I saw today that really excited me was the plum tree is going to have blossoms on it. I did a very hard cutback on this plum last year, and it had no blossoms on it at all last year. But it looks like we're going to have a few this year, so maybe we'll get some plums. And these, remember we took all this hedge down. Well, look at this, it's coming back. This is Caragana. So our idea worked to an extent. I mean, there's some here that probably is going to be a little slower, but it is actually coming back a bit. Might take a few years, and it's coming back down here too. So that's a good thing. Keeping our fingers crossed that it will come right back and be stronger and better than before. And what is this? This looks like this is a plum tree. I gotta get that out of there. I want that in there. Here's some more of those dame rockets. I'm going to leave them. They'll fill this all out really nice here. Give us purple flowers. And there's a little bit of rhubarb. And here is a Saskatoon tree that's got lots of blossoms on it. Look at it. I'm happy about that. This tree is quite sad. Every year it puts out a lot of blossoms. So hopefully maybe this year we'll get some Saskatoons out of it if the birds don't get them first, which always seems to be the case. This lilac bush I gave a hard trim to. But there are a couple of little, I don't think we're going to get any lilacs on this year, but that's okay. I might cut it back even further after this year's done. It's so nice to see green coming out on the trees. It's very slow, but it's happening. Here's a pile of maple that yet has to still be chopped up and shredded. But look at it. It's growing. It's not even, it's cut. It's been cut for several weeks, and yet it's still growing. The joys of maple. This is another little bed that I use for starting plants. Right now it's full of weeds, but I'm going to clean this up and start putting some seeds in here of perennial seeds and see if I can get things going. And once they're going, then I can move them. So that's the garden. And I'm tired. I did about 8.5 hours out here today, so I'm ready for a nice hot cup of tea and a quiet evening. Thanks for coming along on my little garden tour. Hope everybody's keeping well. Things are starting to kind of go back to a somewhat normal. Things are opening up here. Not a lot, but a little bit. So we'll see how it goes. Carrigan is going to bloom. I saw a bee today, so they'll be in this carrigan as they love these yellow blossoms. So from whatever the weather may be, take care everyone, and I'll talk to you again once things are starting to grow and bloom. Talk to you again. Bye for now.